So thank you, Latifa, for doing this interview with me.
شكرا.
Okay, so the first question is, can you remember the last time it was hard to access your class schedule?
Well, yes. At the start of the semester, I could not access my schedule because my password expired.
Okay, so the second question is, tell me about a time when your class schedule changed suddenly. How did you find out?
I usually get a message from university.
Okay, so the third question is, how do you usually keep track of any changes to your schedule? What's worked best for you so far?
I usually check on SAP and my email regularly.
Okay, and the other question is, what problems have you had with keeping up with your class schedule?
I have no problems.
Okay, how do you feel when you're unsure about your class schedule or if something changed last minute?
Well, I talk with my advisor or my professor about it.
Okay, good. So thank you so much, Ms. Latif, for doing this interview with me. Thank you so much.
Fine.
Bye. Okay. Hello, my name is Reem. Today I'm going to interview Miss Raida and I will ask her a couple of questions. So the first question is, so the first question, okay, so the first question is, can you think of a time when students had trouble getting their classes scheduled?
Hi, Reem. Thank you for interviewing me for this very important topic. So your first question, can you think of a time when students had trouble accessing their class schedule, right?
Yes.
Yes, I think what I understand from my students is they did. They had issues sometimes accessing their class schedule because they couldn't connect to SAP. And SAP is the platform where they can see their schedule. They had issues with connecting to Wi-Fi. And so all of these can sometimes cause issues and students cannot see their schedules. Also, sometimes some students get their schedules late during the first week of the semester. So again, that can cause an issue. Mm.
Okay. So we have the second question, which is says, has your class schedule ever changed suddenly? How did you tell the students?
Oh, yes, it happened this semester. I was assigned to teach a class at 9:30 on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then on the same day, on Monday morning, that class changed and it became an 11 o'clock class. And so I actually was on my way to class when my schedule changed. And so I had to immediately email the students and post an announcement on Blackboard before my classes changed officially on FAP and on Blackboard. And so I emailed the students and I apologized and I said, you will have another teacher for the 9:30 class. Yes. So I think we are used to it during week one. Week one, there's a lot of add and drop going on. So also the teachers' schedules change. Mm.
Okay. So how do you keep track of any changes to the schedule?
Yes. Thankfully, we get emails from our supervisors and course coordinators. So these emails inform us that, okay, our schedules have changed. But I also keep checking FAP. FAP for faculty is what SAP is for students. And so I always go to FAP. I also check my course schedule and I will check to see if there are any updates. Okay. And all teachers know that during week one, we have to check our schedules every day because things change.
So what are the main problems you face with managing your class schedule?
I think I don't have a lot of problems facing my class schedule. However, sometimes when I have office hours as well, and when I have Al-Waha sessions as well, I don't have time to go from one session to the other. So I only have 10 minutes to go from one class to the other class. And so sometimes having back-to-back classes is an issue because one class could be in MF1 or M1 on the other side, and my second class is in F8. So I will need more than 10 minutes to kind of rush between classes. That can be an issue sometimes. Yeah.
So, how do you feel when the class schedule is unclear or changes last minute?
Um, I don't actually. I take a deep breath and I accept the changes. Sometimes these changes are out of our control, and so I understand that it's nobody's fault. The schedule changes, they drop classes, they add sections. So I've learned to accept all these changes and deal with them when they happen. And I think that's the best thing we can all do, Reem, is accept the changes and go with the flow. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
it's a good idea. Thank you so much for this interview, Miss Raida. And
Thank
I
you,
learned
Reem.
from you a lot, Miss. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I will see you soon. All the best.
Inshallah.
We're getting lecture schedules updates. The first question, have students ever had trouble because of a last minute timetable change?
Last minute timetable change. Yes, I think so. If time change at the last minute, some students may even notice any emails or notifications they don't know. So there may have some change, some troubles for them. But I'm trying my best to not do that, not do the last minute.
Any harder for them?
Yes. Last minute notification is hard for students to receive all the information.
Sure. For example, give us an example for what happened and what were the main issues.
What happened? What will be the main issue? What happened? That is like some students don't actually notice the emails or notifications. They don't know that, so they still came to the classroom and find that there is no class. Okay, they'll complain. Okay, what's the next question? So what's the next?
Your answer actually gets us to the next question, which is, how do you usually inform students about schedule changes?
Okay, I always send notifications on Blackboard. Okay, and also copy the notification to all students' emails. Okay, so basically one announcement on Blackboard and emails to all students. Yes.
Sure. Out of all methods you mentioned, which method do you think works the best?
Emails.
Emails.
Yes.
Straight emails.
Straight emails. Yes.
What are the biggest challenges in making sure students get timetable updates on time? I think, like you mentioned before, they don't review the notifications usually.
Yes. Yeah, that's the main issue. Yes.
Main issue. Have you used any method that worked really well for sharing timetable updates? Other than me?
No.
Blackboard you mentioned.
Yeah, the main tool I use is Blackboard.
Blackboard. Other than me.
Yeah, I don't have other ways. So sometimes the students have you guys have groups, right? Have
WhatsApp groups, yeah.
Yeah, WhatsApp groups. Some classes they have WhatsApp groups, some don't.
Some don't, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually try my best to avoid this kind of situation. Yeah.
Last question. What do you think could improve how students receive schedule updates? Any improvements?
Student. What method can we use? Okay. I don't know.
Let me give you an example. For example, what about the university conducts workshops that inform the students about the importance of checking their email every day?
Oh yes, that's a good idea. Okay, basically, I think all the professors' assumptions is actually every students and the faculty members will always check their email box.
Yeah, constant reminder from the
time to
instructors.
time. Yes.
Thank you. That was a great interview and comprehensive at the same time. Tell me about the last time you missed or nearly missed a lecture due to a timetable change in the first week of the semester.
That never really happened to me. I usually check the dates and my schedule like before the semester starts.
Before the semester starts. So let's talk about the girls who face these problems. How do you think they feel if they had this situation? Will it affect their day?
Yeah, I feel like they'll be very lost. Attendance will affect them, especially if it's the first week. They will miss a lot of classes and a lot of things the professor will explain during the first week.
Do you think it differentiates between, for example, a junior student who just attended the university and a senior student?
Yes, I think it does. A junior student would feel more lost and more confused than a senior student, because a senior student knows how the campus is and where she would find the advisors. But as a junior, I don't think she would.
She would, yeah. What do you recommend, for example, what could have helped them avoid this kind of problems?
I think knowing who your advisor is, being in contact with your advisor, making sure that you open SAP and see what classes you are registered in before the semester starts or even in the first day.
Do you think the cause of the problem is not constantly checking the university mail or Blackboard messages?
Yes, I think so, especially because every semester they change the emails, they change the passwords, so it will be a bit confusing.
Okay. How do you think they usually find out about the changes in their schedule?
Very shocking, because this happened to me this semester. I wasn't really happy with my schedule and I had no option to change it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it's nice, especially with the timing and the gaps between the classes.
Okay. Which method do you trust the most for the updates, or the university students trust the most? Like, is it mail, Blackboard messages?
I think texting your advisor and SAP.
Also WhatsApp, I hear it's recommended to get the updates of the university.
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever received conflicting schedule information?
Yes.
What
like
happened?
this semester, I registered for classes before when they opened the registration. I registered for classes, and then this semester when I started, the classes were different, the timing was different, it did not work for me. And I did text my advisor about this, but she had she couldn't change it, especially that I wanted 4 courses, and I think it's a new policy that I need to have 5 courses minimum.
That's new to me.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you how often do you check the updates? Let's say during a day.
Not that often.
Not that often.
Not that
During a week, how many times?
Maybe once.
Maybe once a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had a positive experience where schedule updates were clear and easy to access?
Yes.
You had it.
Yes. Especially if I log into my emails before the semester starts, it does really help to be updated.
To be updated, yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much.
Hi, I would like to interview you. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Zena and I'm a finance major.
Okay, so I would like to ask you some questions about difficulty in accessing information about your lectures and changes to your timetable. So my first question is, can you describe a time when you struggled to find lecture schedule updates?
So last semester, one of my lectures was moved to a different time, but I didn't realize it until I showed up to an empty classroom.
Okay, so what did you do when you realized the schedule had changed?
I had to check my email, then the university portal, and finally I messaged a classmate to confirm. It took a while to get the right information.
Did this experience affect your learning?
I missed part of the lecture, which made it harder to follow the rest of the course. It was frustrating because I felt unprepared for the next class.
Okay, so my second question is how do you usually stay updated with timetable changes?
I check emails, the university portal, and sometimes our class WhatsApp group if someone posts an update.
Okay, so which of these methods do you find the most reliable and why?
Probably the WhatsApp group because it's fast and I get real-time confirmation from classmates.
So have you ever missed an important update because of a communication issue?
Yes, a professor once changed a lecture time, but the email went to my spam folder. I only found out when a friend mentioned it later.
Okay, so my third question is what are the most common issues students face when trying to get accurate timetable updates?
Delays in receiving information, conflicting updates from different sources, and missing notifications altogether.
Okay, so which of these issues do you think affect students the most?
Probably conflicting updates because students don't know which source to trust. Some follow emails, other follow the portal, and it creates confusion.
What steps do you take to double check your schedule?
I usually ask classmates or check multiple sources before assuming the information is correct.
Okay, so my fourth question is have you ever received a schedule update in a way that was really effective?
Yes, one professor used a shared Google Calendar which automatically updated changes. It was super convenient.
Okay. So what made that method stand out comparing to other methods?
It was instant, easy to access, and I didn't have to search through emails or messages.
Okay, would you recommend this method for other classes? Why or why not?
Definitely, if all courses used a shared calendar, students would always have the latest schedule without confusion.
Okay. If you could redesign how students receive lecture updates, what would you change?
I change, I'd, I'd create a single system that sends automatic notifications through an app or text message.
How would this system help students compared to the current methods?
It would eliminate confusion and ensure that everyone gets the same update at the same time.
So, what challenges do you think might come with implementing this system?
Some professors or administrators might resist change, but once they see how much easier it makes things, they might be open to it.
Okay, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Hi, I would like to interview you and ask you a few questions. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, hi, my name is Salama and I'm a second year student and my major is security and network.
Okay, so I would like to ask you some questions about your difficulty in accessing information, about your lectures and changes in your timetables. So, my first question would be, tell me about the last time you missed or nearly missed a lecture due to a timetable change.
So last month I didn't realize that a lecture was rescheduled because I didn't check my email in time, and I found out when a friend like texted me 10 minutes before it started.
Okay, so how did this situation affect your day?
It was really stressful, and I had to rush to the campus, and I ended up being late. I also missed like the first part of the lecture, so I had to catch up later.
What could have helped you to avoid this problem?
Maybe like a text notification or like a pop-up reminder in the university apps, because like emails are easy to miss, especially if we like receive a lot of them.
Okay. So my second question is, how do you usually find out about changes on your lecture schedules?
So mostly through emails, but sometimes like professors like mention it in class, or I hear like from classmates and like group chats.
Okay, so which method do you trust more for updates and why?
Probably direct messages in class, like group chats, because emails are like slow and not everyone like listens in class. So group chats feels like the most immediate.
So have you ever received conflicting schedule information and what happened?
Yes, once the professor emailed a change, but the university like portal still showed like the old schedule. And some students followed the email, others the port, and half of the class missed the lecture.
Okay, so my third question is, what are the biggest challenges in getting lecture updates on time?
The biggest issue is like or like the last minute notifications. Sometimes emails get like buried and the university port isn't updating fast enough.
Okay, so how often do you check for those updates?
I try to check my emails like daily, but I don't always check the portal unless I hear about a possible change.
Have you ever taken any extra steps to confirm a timetable change?
Yes, I've actually messaged a classmate or even like emailed the professor to double check, but it takes extra effort and time.
So my fourth question is, have you ever had a positive experience where your schedule updates were clear and easy to access?
Yes, once a professor used WhatsApp to send like a reminder. It was direct, quick, and everyone got the message instantly.
Okay, what made that method better than other methods?
It was like fast, and we could ask like follow-up questions in the same chat. Unlike emails, there was no delay in getting any responses.
Okay, so would you prefer something like this for all your courses and why?
Yeah, definitely. It's simple and effective. If all the professors use the same platform, it would be much easier to stay updated.
So my fifth question is, if you could improve the way timetable updates are communicated, what would you change?
I'd like a single reliable platform with like a real-time notification, maybe an app or like an SMS alert.
So how do you think other students would feel about that?
I feel like most students would love that. We already used we already use our phone for everything, so getting like a quick notification would be much better than relying on like emails.
So do you think professors and administration would be open to such change?
Some might resist at first, but if they see how much it helps students, then they might actually be willing to try it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Another professor? Oh, I don't know. They changed the professor without saying.
Yeah.
So how did you find out that your professor was changed, and how were you with that?
I went to my class and everyone was sitting. We were waiting for the professor, and then we saw someone else entering the room. It was another professor, and she just took the attendance and told us to go home.
Oh.
Because the professor is gonna get changed. And I had a class at 11, and then I didn't have anything until 3. So I waited until 3 for this class, and then they didn't tell us that it was cancelled. And the professor that I chose, she's such a good professor, so they switched it. And now I'm taking with a professor that I don't like, and I need to stick with it. One more thing is one time I was entering the class, and then when I entered the class, I saw a different professor. I looked at the students. They are not my classmates.
Okay.
I was so confused. I went out. I thought that I entered the wrong room. I read no, this is my class. So again, they changed everything without me knowing. So
They changed the location, or what did they change?
no, it was
exactly?
the same room. They changed both the professor
Okay.
and they mixed the students.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 2 weeks, everything was like that. Even I had.
So this wasn't in the add and drop week.
Yeah,
it
this
was
was after
Okay,
the
after.
drop and add. Even we had a project, and I had my group. We were maybe 4 members, and then on the 3rd week, every day when I go to the class, I don't find my group members. They weren't in the class. They changed their classes.
Oh my
so I
God.
was alone in the group. Then they kept on bringing people from other groups to my group.
Okay, so they changed the classes and the class members even after the add and drop
Yeah.
week. Okay, okay, okay.
So many problems. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. So one issue I've noticed that many students face, especially the seniors, the availability of classes and during the add and drop week especially. So can you tell me about your experience?
Yes, of course. As a senior, I agree with you, especially when it comes to taking classes and the flexibility of the timings of the classes, because you're just trying to take every class possible so you can finish as fast as you can, and especially with how a lot of students have been joining the university and how, you know, there's many different majors and with people in Minerva and all that. It's just been hard, but you know, you just try your best to just take the classes, and then sometimes the advisors also help by helping with the timings and all that.
So how do you think Minerva affected the university?
I believe that Minerva, I actually believe Minerva helped, especially with people who are taking the major classes, because for them, if you count, you have by the hundreds of students joining every semester. So when all of these hundreds of students join Minerva, for us people who have the normal CU curriculum, when we take the major classes, we still have time. Like if you enter 30 minutes later to choose a course, you still find it there. But if all these students were in the same curriculum, it would be kind of hard. It wouldn't be as flexible as it is. So I believe that actually Minerva was a good step ahead. But also you do have the problem with Minerva is it doesn't have all the majors, and you know, some people would say, oh, I don't want to be in a course, you know, mixed or all that. So there, it has its ups and downs.
So now can you give me an example of an issue that you faced while registering for your classes?
Yes, this actually happened to me this semester, as it is my final semester, and I did have to take all the possible courses that I have left, just, you know, to not say rush, but to be on the safe side when it comes to finishing. I chose two or three courses, I don't remember exactly, but unfortunately all these classes that I chose were mixed. And when you choose a mixed class, there's something that you have to sign or overrule, and I didn't know about it. So I did the plan ahead, and it was all there, and then when it was time to register, I registered, but I couldn't find the classes. So I was left from 6 courses that I was supposed to take to 3. And it was unfortunate because I thought, well, you know, this is bad, I would have to take another semester, and what is happening? And then every time I tried, I found the classes actually. They weren't like, you know, full or anything. But every time I pressed on it, it said something and I didn't know about it.
And no one told you about it?
And no one told me about it. I didn't know about it. So that was a big issue that I had. And then I had to email the advisor, and the advisor really helped me out with that. And he said that you have to do this, but we do have other classes that you can take that will help you, you know, finish, because they're all like similar, like a tree, like similar to that. So I said, okay. I took 2, so I was left with 1. I just wanted to take 6 all of a sudden. And he said that because also in the university, unfortunately, the teachers, you know, a lot of teachers, actually this semester I have a teacher that I have for 3 courses. So there aren't a lot of available teachers. So he said for 1 course, he said that if a teacher was found, or when it will be found, he's just gonna register me there. So I feel like that's one of the things that really affected it.
So the advisor helped you in this issue?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Because I didn't know anything about that rule or anything, and I was getting, a bit stressed and all that. And then when I talked to him, he just
So
said,
you feel like you need to be updated? There should be a system that updates you?
always, because nobody would know. Like, if I was a new student, I wouldn't have known what's going on until I go and find the advisor's email and email the advisor till he answers. Everything would have been gone.
By then the classes would
have been gone, and then you have to wait for add-in job. And add-in job, I always say, since I've been in uni, that add-in job is sort of a hassle of it, because it's you and your luck. You're never really gonna know if someone's gonna leave this class, and will you be on time to join that class, or will someone else join?
So about this issue, the add-in drop, how do you get notified about the class if someone dropped from the class?
Okay, so you don't really get notified. You have to go to your advisor or to the advisor, like, who's controlling the add-in job. Once you head there, you just see the advisor. Hey sir, or hey ma'am, I have 1, 2, 3 courses that I need to finish. I didn't have time to register them. I need to register them. They'll be like, okay, do you want to add? Do you want to drop one of your courses that you have? You could say yes. You could say no. If you do, once you drop the course, let's say for example I took maths, but I don't need maths. I could drop that. Once I drop that, any person who needs to take that subject to whether move ahead or to help them graduate faster, they'll be notified by that and they'll just join. Like a similar thing happened to me was one of the courses I have this semester. I needed that course. That was my last course, which is I think the senior seminar or some other part. And the teacher and the advisor knew that, so he said as soon as I get notified of it, I'll put you straight in. Like at first he said I'll email you and you can try joining in the add-in job week, and then then I found out he just did it. So that's good. The advisor really helped me when it came to that. But yeah, that's how it goes.
So you always go to your advisor for help?
Always.
Have you ever reached out to your advisor in the add-in drop week?
Yes, I have, and this actually happened to me this semester. There was one of the courses I had which I didn't really need. I think it was math. I think so. I'm not really sure, but I wanted to drop that to take another subject. Unfortunately, the add-in job is always a hassle, and sometimes the advisor's not there or she's not answering the email. And you go to their office, sometimes they're not there. It's just a bit of a hectic week, unfortunately. So I did have difficulties when it came to that. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit difficult, but...
Since you are a senior student, tell me about a time when your class schedule changed unexpectedly, and how did you find out?
في السمستر خلال أسبوع الآد والدروب واحد من الكورسات اللي كنت منزلنها سووا لها سكادجول، واكتشفت الشيء من خلال انه وصلني ايميل انه سووا لها سكادجول، وكان في اخر اللحظات تقريبا من بداية السمستر. فهالشيء سبب لي خربطة في البلان اللي كنت راسمنه للسمستر، وشوية وترني، فكان الشيء يوتر ويخربط البلان كله اللي كنت راسمنه.
Okay, Mohammed, can you please tell me about the last time you had difficulty accessing your lecture schedule?
الصراحة بعد في نفس الأسبوع، أسبوع الآد والدروب، كانت عندي مشكلة في الساب، إني ما كنت أقدر أدخل ساب، كان يطلع لي إيرور. كنت أبغى أشيك على الكورس عقب ما سووا له ريسكادجول، فمن ضغط الطلاب إنهم كلهم داخلين الساب، فكان ما كنت أقدر أدخل، فجربت في أكثر من وقت لكن نفس المشكلة، فكان الشيء محبط أن ما قدرت أدخل الساب، خصوصا أنه هو في آخر سمستر لي.
Okay, Mohammed, What challenges do you face when trying to stay on top of your class schedule?
أكبر تحدي أواجهه هو تغيير السكجول. يعني صعب الواحد يسوي له خطة أو بلان في السمستر ويتغير السكجول على آخر لحظة أو شيء. فمثل الأشياء دائما نواجهها على آخر اللحظات، فهي تجيب لنا السترس، وإن أنا كنت مخطط على كل شيء وفجأة تغير على آخر شيء. فأنا كنت لازم أشوف الإيميل أول بأول حسب أكون مركز في التغييرات اللي تصير من دون ما نعرف.
Okay, Muhammad. How do you usually manage or track any schedule changes, and what has worked the best for you?
عادة أعتمد على الإيميل وساب، لكن دائما الابديت اللي يكون في ساب مرات يتأخر من كثر الضغط اللي عليه من الطلاب. فبعد أنا أستخدم آب من الفون تساعدني على تنظيم الكالندر مالي. فبس بعد الموضوع صعب لأن مرات يصير أبديت ولازم أشيك على الإيميل والساب. فموضوع لازم على طول تكون متابع الإيميل والساب.
وتحس إنها the best method إنه to keep checking؟
هو هذا الطريقة الوحيدة، لأن مرات تصير تغييرات أو شيء في اللحظات الأخيرة، فأنت لازم تتابع على طول عشان تكون on time، يعني ما تكون متأخر عن الناس أو عن أي شيء يصير وما تنضغط زيادة.
And how does this makes you feel? Keep checking.
أكيد يعني هذا الشيء يخليك تتعب زيادة وتتوتر زيادة، إنه ممكن شيء يصير وشيء يخربط كل شيء. لكن هذه الطريقة الوحيدة.
Okay, Muhammad. How do you usually feel when you're not sure about a class schedule or last minute changes?
نفس ما قلت، هذا الشيء يوتر ويخربط كل شيء، فتحس الموضوع إنه كأنه مش منظم، خصوصا إنه يتغير على آخر اللحظات. هو نحن نعتمد على ساب أو الإيميل ونشيك من خلال التغيير، لكن نفس ما قلت الساب يكون عليه ضغط، خاصة إذا دخلوا عليه كل الطلاب في وقت واحد، أو الإيميل بعد يكون في زحمة إيميلات، لأن الإيميل حق كل شيء مو بس التغيير. فالأفضل إنه يكون في مكان مخصص حق النوتيفيكيشن نستلم منها النوتيفيكيشن الضرورية فقط، إنه تغيير جدول، فيكون أريح وأسهل للطالب يعني إنه يشوف التغيير.
Assalamu alaikum. Since you are a senior student, I have 5 questions to ask about difficulty of accessing your schedule and staying updated on your schedule. So tell me about a time when your class schedule changed unexpectedly and how did you find out? بما معناه أخبريني متى آخر مرة تغير جدولك وكيف عرفتي؟
خلال إضافة للدروب يعني دخلت أنا وشيكت إن جدولي اتغير يعني، وخصوصا إن كيف عرفت إن جدولي اتغير عن طريق الإيميل. الأدفايزر رسل لي إيميل وقال لي شي صفى جدولك اتغير ومع التايمينج وهالسوالف يعني.
Okay, we're going to the next question. Can you tell me about the last time you had difficulty accessing your lecture schedule?
قبل كم أيام دخلت ساب الموقع يعني حق الجامعة وكان معلق، والصراحة كنت أحاول أسوي ريفرش وما قدرت. كنت يعني معصبة وتوتر على يعني، وخاصة أنا خريجة يعني مو فاضية حق هالأشياء اللي تصير لي يعني. هذا
فشو
يعني
كان شعورك يوم كنتي يوم كان يعلق الموقع وانتي يعني كنتي already you're a senior يعني.
صراحة شعور يعني حزن، على قلق، على توتر، على أعصاب يعني. أكيد يعني هالمشاعر كلها.
مم.
أمم.
Safa, we're going to the third question. What challenges do you face when trying to stay on top of your class schedule؟ بما معناه شو هي الصعوبات اللي تواجهك كسينيور ستودنت لما تحاولين انت تكونين على يعني focused or on top your class schedules؟
الصعوبات اللي أتواجهها يعني إني أتشيك جدول يعني أكثر مكان، يعني مثلا على سبيل المثال موقع، الإيميل، أسأل أدفايزر، أسأل ربعي، يعني أسأل كذا حد حسب أعرف إذا جدولي إنه أبديتد ولا لا. وهذا الصراحة يعني بالنسبة لي يعني صعب إنه يا أركز على كورساتي يا جدولي، ولا شو أركز بالضبط. يعني صراحة يعني يخليني طول اليوم أنا قلقانة، يعني مش يعني مركزة في دراستي ولا شيء يعني.
نعم. ننتقل للسؤال الرابع. صفاء, you as a senior student, how do you usually manage or track any schedule changes? What has worked the best for you؟ بما معناه أنت كسينيور ستودنت شو تسوين عشان أنت تكونين ملمة بالجدول مالك والأبديت اللي قاعدة تصير؟ أو قولي لي شو كانت أفضل طريقة أنت عشان تشيكين، ولا ما في أصلا أفضل طريقة بالنسبة لك؟
أه أنا أول شيء أستخدم آب في الآيفون عشان أرتب وضعي، يعني عشان أشوف جدولي. وثاني شيء بعد أستخدم ساب حق الجامعة عشان أشيك. بس صراحة ساب ما نقدر نعتمد عليه، خصوصا إنه يعلق وفي له ايرور، ما يكون أبديتد يعني. وممكن الجدول بعد ما يكون صحيح يعني 100%. وأتمنى إن في مكان يعني يسوون الناس مكان صغير معين حق الجدول، نقدر نشوف الجدول يعني، وعشان ندخله ونتأكد من الجدول يعني يكون صحيح. وهذا خصوصا يعني نحن إن خريجات وآخر سمستر نبى نكون مرتاحين وريلاكس، يعني ما نكون متوترين طول اليوم يعني.
إيه فهمتك. How do you usually feel when you're not sure about a class schedule or last minute changes؟ بما معناه شو شعورك تجاه ان انت يوم يتغير جدولك في آخر لحظة؟
أحس إني أكون متوترة، ويعني أكون نفس الوقت يعني قلقانة، يعني ما أقدر أعتمد على أي شيء. ممكن الشيء اللي أعتمد فيه أو الموقع يتغير في آخر لحظة أو في ثانية يعني. وما أكون مركزة طول اليوم، بما إن يكون عندي كلاسات تروح على الكلاسات يعني ما أعرف يعني أسأل أطرش إيميل ولا أسأل يعني أي حد أو أكلم أي حد، ويعني طول اليوم أنا أكون قلقانة.
وهل يعني تحسين ان انت لازم كل شوي تتأكدين هل تغير او ما تغير الجدول، ولا خلاص عادي تعتمدين على ساب والادفايزر؟
لا، شيء طبيعي، لازم نحن نتأكد كل دقيقة كل دقيقة. لو ما تأكدنا عادي تروح علينا الكلاسات، يعني يكون الجدول ممكن تغير، مثلا حذفوا لي المادة أو ضافوا لي المادة الثانية أو الوقت تغير. يعني شيء طبيعي، لازم كل دقيقة نتأكد يعني من الموقع أو يعني آب ثاني. حتى الموقع ذكرنا يعلق ويكون فيه ايرور يعني. هذا المشكلة. أتمنى إنه يعني يحلون هذه المشكلة بأسرع وقت يعني.
نعم. وصلنا آخر سؤال. شكرا صفاء على الانترفيو، وشكرا على وقتك.
شكرا، يعطيكم العافية.